Welcome to Our Generation with Melissa Shaw, and we are on location here at Living in the Moment Event Center.
Yep.
Is it Moments or Moment?
Moments. Although everybody likes to say moments.
I know. That's why I was like, making sure I got it right.
We're living in the moment. Probably like, it's not really an S on the end.
There's an S on none of it, right?
On events.
Oh, okay.
That's where it gets, So it's Living in the Moment events.
Yes, yes. So we are here on location off of Benford and 70, is that 71st Street?
Uh-huh.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So welcome to another episode, which I'm getting close to my 200.
Oh, nice.
I know I have to go back and yeah. So I started on where I wasn't visual. I did audio. It was on a radio app, and then I transitioned a year later onto YouTube. So I've been doing YouTube for a little over a year.
Well, come on now, YouTube.
I know. So welcome. I'm so excited. I know we've been trying to get this going
for sure
since I met you.
Yes.
You're doing really great things in the community, helping business owners. So tell us just a little bit about yourself, your background, and kind of, your journey.
All the things, man. Woo! I don't even know where to start.
Are you from here?
I am from here. I am from Indianapolis. Born and raised Brightwood, 46218.
Okay. So my dad was he grew up in Brightwood.
I gotta shout that out. So definitely born and raised on the east side of Indy. I guess I just kind of start with my collegiate work experience. I worked for the government for almost 7 years and transitioned out of that to corporate world. So I have a degree in criminal justice and a master's in human resources. So after I left the state, I went and worked for corporate world. I used to work for an engineering firm. And after some things that happened within that job, kind of going through things that nobody really wants to go through, I just kind of decided I didn't want to work for anybody anymore. So I started my travel agency. And I started that in 2017 while still kind of working and trying to phase out of the job that I was in. I used to always use a travel advisor for my own trips. And she was like, you have the personality to be a travel agent. Never thought about it, but ended up going under her wing. She trained me, all the things. And then a year later, I started my own agency. So we're going into almost 8 years of a full service travel agency. So basically sending folks all around the world. So we are certified in groups and destination weddings and independent travel, all the things. So anywhere you want to go, we can send you there. So we are a full service concierge. I started adding on agents as time went by. So we have a full team that can pretty much send you anywhere in the world. And then after that, I said, well, this is not enough. The travel industry is a commission-based industry. So I wanted to do something else. And I was always planning events for my family or planning birthday parties and all the things. So I got into event planning. And then COVID hit. So I was like, wow, this is different, going to people's homes and being shut in and all that kind of stuff. So I contacted a commercial realtor and I was like, I need a space. I want a space where people can still celebrate and they can do all the things that they want to do, but we can do it safely. And I was like, I just want a big enough size where we can still follow the mandates at that time. So after about 3 or 4 months of searching, we finally came across this building. And so I had to remodel it and put a lot of money into it and make it, what it is today. So we're going strong, entering our 4th year with the brick and mortar here.
Nice. Yeah. Congratulations.
Yep.
They say you hit that 5th year mark.
You are good.
You golden. You are good.
Yes. So I'm like 7 years straight into full-time entrepreneurship. So juggling multiple things. So within that, I started meeting so many folks, and a lot of people were just inspired that I was able to open up something while a lot of businesses were closing down. So having travel and event planning under one roof, we're really the only venue that's doing that. So we really pride ourselves in being a one-stop shop for those couples who are looking to, get married all the way through their honeymoon. So we can really take care of all that. And so as I was growing in these industries, these are leisure businesses. So I call these industries up and down. Everybody is not able to afford travel. They're not able to afford an event or a wedding. So I was like, I need more. I need to do some other things. So why not help people do what I was able to do, which was become a full-time entrepreneur. So I started taking some classes and courses and certified in business coaching. And I just really just started telling my story, how I got started and what drove me to become an entrepreneur, and started just helping others do the same thing. So I have a couple of different coaching programs where I meet you where you are. So whether you're just like, I have an idea, where do I go from there? Or I've had this business for 6 years and it's just at a standstill. How do I make it grow? So when I went into entrepreneurship, I had no idea if I was going to really make money. But my first year into it, I was like, okay, I'm making money. So the second year, I made 6 figures, and I was like, oh, this is a thing. Right. I don't ever want to go back. Yeah. So, I'm showing them how to build that wealth, and, how to become successful and continue being successful. Because again, in entrepreneurship, it's up and down. So if you don't have, stable income, it may not be the thing to do. It may not be, you may not be in that position where you can leave your 9 to 5. Mm-hmm. So
and
I go through that.
I think a lot of times people don't talk about that.
Oh my gosh,
like,
never.
Yeah, that is a huge thing. And
yeah.
if you have to go back and do something to pay the bills as you're still building, that's okay.
Absolutely,
it has nothing. It doesn't take away from you being an entrepreneur. It just allows you to stay the course.
But that's social media. Social media has everybody thinking once you become an entrepreneur, you can't work a 9 to 5. I mean, like, that's double money. Why not? I tell all my
If you
clients,
can do it, then
if you
do
can work
it.
a 9 to 5 and still build your business, why
Yeah.
not? You know what I mean? So I am totally opposite with that, and I'm transparent, because who wants to go around saying they're an entrepreneur but not making any money?
Right.
So that doesn't make any sense. So as I started building my coaching programs and working with so many clients, Indianapolis Urban League reached out, and I started business coaching for them.
Nice.
So I've met a lot of folks through their cohorts. So everything that I do is revolving helping people. It's revolving giving back. It's revolving helping somebody do something that they always thought that they couldn't, which brings me into why I wrote a book. So last year I ended up writing a book, and it's a nice book. It's like 120 pages. So it's called Live in the Moment. So I give steps and keys on how to live your purpose, how to find your passion, how to chase your dreams. That's actually the title. It's on Amazon. And when I wrote that, people were like, what made you want to do that? And I always tell them, I wanted to do something that nobody else was doing that I knew. So my parents didn't do it. My grandparents didn't do it. My sibling didn't do it. I didn't have any friends that did it. So I wanted to do something and just show we can do this as little black girls and little black, guys from, the ghetto or what have you. We can do these things too. We can become authors. We can become lawyers. We can become doctors. So it took me a while to figure out what I wanted to say and how I wanted it, but I wanted it to be me.
Yeah.
So I tell people all the time, it was self-published, it was self-edited. I didn't go through some big fancy company. The first 13 copies had mistakes in them. And I was like, I don't care.
Right.
That's me. I wrote it.
I love that.
And the 13 people that got it, I told them, I said, you have the copies that are wrong. You have copies that have mistakes in them, just to show that I'm human. And I still was able to accomplish something as great as that. So now I can call myself an author. And then I went back and wrote a journal as a supplement to the book. And then after that, as if that wasn't enough, this year I also started my nonprofit. So Living in the Moment Initiative. Thank you. I swear I'm not going to do anything else.
But as everything that you do though is kind of
it revolves around. Yes, it revolves around from the next one. So nothing is really like out of the box.
Yeah.
But the nonprofit, I basically wanted to utilize my space as a community hub. So the more that we grow, the community that has given so much to me by making this business successful, I wanted to give back. So I was already kind of doing the work, but without the nonprofit title and all the things that came with it.
Yeah.
So we always did a Easter basket giveaway, a turkey drive, back to school events, breakfast with Santa, all these things where it was either free or very, very low cost. So I wanted to turn those things into the same events that we know and love, but put them up under the nonprofit so that we can help more people come. So that more people who are not able to afford it and things like that, we can get more supplies and more funding and, all the things to help the community. So I just really want to be able to utilize the space while I'm here as much as possible. So I do a lot of community events. I do my showers. I do courses, just all kinds of things that can help individuals grow. So
yeah, I love that. So with you doing as much as you do, and I feel like if you talk to entrepreneurs just in general, um, they don't just do one thing.
No, not typically.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think it's a number of things. One, if you have an entrepreneurial mindset, it goes all the time. So you're always trying to think of how can I become better? How can I do something greater? What's my next move? So I think it's that, but I also think it's just the income. Once you get to a certain level, you want more. You know what I mean? You want to keep growing and keep exceeding. So I think that, knowledge is power. So once you get a hold of something,
but if you use
and
it,
teach it, you got to use it for sure.
Because
But
sometimes
teaching the
I'm
next
guilty
one.
of I feel like I'm a knowledge junkie. Like I love information.
Yep.
But how many of it did you
What are you doing with it?
Like,
Yeah.
yes, I have to be very careful.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you done got way too much information. You cannot
But you
go
know what?
anywhere else until you start executing.
But this is what I do. I'm a knowledge junkie too. I mean, so to speak. I love learning. I love educating. So that's what I'm passionate about. So when I learn something, why not show it to somebody else?
Absolutely.
Why not teach it to somebody else?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're not holding on to that knowledge.
Yeah.
You're putting it back into whomever, the
Yeah.
community, your cohorts, the people you serve, whomever. I mean, people walk through this door, I get to talking about something completely different. This not even about the space. We're talking about the books or the classes or, all these things. So you just gotta use it to your advantage.
Yeah. I love that. Oh, I was gonna ask you something, but I forgot. What was it? Do you think what I was gonna say is you might agree. As you go through your entrepreneur journey, you evolve, and you learn things that make you want to add a different component that you didn't think of.
Yeah.
People talk about having multiple streams of income, and what I've learned is they don't have to be multiple streams of different. Like within your wheelhouse.
Oh yeah.
Like you have all of this within your wheelhouse, but they're all as a stream of income.
Right. Right.
And I think that's important because we think of stream of income meaning that I got to do this, I got to do that. But now you're spreading yourself way too thin.
Yep.
You need to do something that you already know.
Yep.
You don't even have to think twice about. So like adding courses, adding a book, adding workshops to what you already do. I think sometimes entrepreneurs forget, what you're doing, you really can increase your bottom line
on what you already have
by what you're already doing.
Oh yeah. And oftentimes we like to recreate the wheel when we don't have to.
I'm not
you know what I
that.
mean? And a lot of folks, what we need to learn in entrepreneurship too is partnering with folks. If you already are doing something similar, why should I go over here and redo it? So when I started the nonprofit, I told people like, let's work together. A lot of us are serving the same purpose, the same community. We all know it's 35 community back to school events. Yeah. If we came together and just did a large one or a couple of large ones, we're going to reach way more people because the community, they're looking at, okay, well, I got to go over here to this one, then I got to run over across town to this one. Instead, if we came together and collaborated, But
it's leveraging each other.
It's easier said than done, but I do think we could do it if people try.
And I feel like it hasn't been done effectively because you're not going to go without problems. It's going to be issues, personalities. It's not going to be smooth. But I feel like when those things happen, people abandon the ship instead of working through that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because it has to be seen that this can be done effectively.
Yep.
In order for ones to be like, okay,
Absolutely.
I posted today, relationships and connections is a new currency.
Yeah.
Like
all day long.
All day. The money will come. And that's not really talked about. Like building relationships is huge.
Yeah. Because people think it's just a cliche, your network is your network. I mean, that is so true.
Oh my goodness.
That is so true. I will attend at least 1 to 3 events every single week. And I'm hoping to gain something out of that. And it's not always going to equate to dollars at that moment. But if I see you later on, you're going to spend something with me, or you're going to book something with me.
Or you're going to refer somebody.
Yes, absolutely.
Or you're going to refer me to someone. I
tell people all the time, get in the room.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what the room is, get in the room because you never know who's in there. You never know who you're going to meet. It may take one conversation. And that's that one conversation that got your business started. That one conversation that took you from, 5 figures to 6 figures. That one, just whatever. It's that one person in the room that did something significant to impact your business.
Yeah.
So if you ain't in the room, you won't know.
Yeah. So where do you see yourself in the next 2 to 3 years?
In the next 2 to 3 years, I definitely have some more books on the way. So I'm working on some ebooks and things like that. And then I also see myself in a bigger space. I know that there's more that I want to do for my community. There's more things that I want to offer. And I feel like this was a very good stepping stone, but I know I need more. So I want to expand on the things that I'm already doing. I honestly don't have a desire to recreate anything or to start anything new. I feel like I have a good grasp of the event planning world, the travel industry, my business consulting. I just want to expand on that. So whatever God sees fit to expand, I'll say that increase for sure. Yeah,
I love
but
that.
nothing really new. So
Yeah. So is what encouragement would you give entrepreneurs or some tips
man. Um,
for the new ones and the seasoned ones?
yeah. So for the new ones, I would say stay the course. It's hard. Social media makes things crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody thinks they can go and, do this one thing and they're going to be a millionaire tomorrow. Stay the course.
Yeah.
I used to tell people when I first started coaching, I'm like, when we were growing up, our parents told us, get a job, get educated, go to work. That was the thing, right? But now it's like working is a bad thing. Social media has made working a bad thing. I tell people, stay off of social media for one.
Yeah.
Stay the course. Okay, I say focus. Finish one course until successful. If you can do that, you'll make it. If you're trying to watch out what everybody else is doing and looking at the next person, you're going to fail because that is going to hinder you. Stay the course, do what you're set out to do, and nobody can take that away from you. So that's for the new ones. The ones that are trying to expand and trying to grow, know your industry. Especially if you are in a city like Indianapolis where there is oversaturation, know your industry. What sets you apart, right? There is several event centers. There are several travel agencies, but none of them are Brandy Nicole. And I can say that wholeheartedly, and I can mean that, and I know that when they walk through this door, they're going to get an experience that they're not going to get somewhere else. So you got to figure out what sets you apart and how you're going to continue to get those customers. Because if I'm doing something down the street that's just a little bit better and it's $5 cheaper, you may lose that client.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do to keep them? And that's different from the next one.
Most definitely. And as you were saying, like there's business consultants. That's
Oversaturation.
Yes, but they are not you.
Everybody's a consultant.
I consider myself, and I say this, I'm more of a navigator because I help you navigate through where you are and where you're going. And really, it's about I really encourage the connections. When I'm navigating ones because I know I can only go so far with you. I want you to be fully successful, so that means that I got to connect you to somebody else that's going to take you to the next level.
That's right.
And it's huge for that, but again, they're not you. And there's so many people that need help. People are so worried that they have this scarcity mindset.
That's enough for everybody.
There is enough.
It's enough for everybody. You just got to go get it.
And I always think about like, how many, we can only do so many clients.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Effectively.
Right.
So if I know of some people and I know a business consultant, I'm going to be like, hey, you need to go over here to her because I can't serve you right now.
Right. And know your limits with that too. You know what I mean? So I kind of tell people I typically won't go over like 7-8 years, in business. Because if I feel like this is where I am, so I can get you to, what I mean, where I am. If I haven't got to 10 years, how can I teach you to get to 10 years? So, and I think it just depends on what you're trying to do. But I call myself a connector all the time as well, which is similar. Like if I know I can't do it, I'm not going to take your money. I'm going to send you to somebody who can or whatever resource that you need. And that's what the Indie Business Shower is all about. So that event will continue to evolve. It will continue to grow. But getting those people in the room with those lawyers and those attorneys and accountants and all those people that they need, it's been a lifesaver.
Yeah, so. One of the things we talked about last night was the 5 things that businesses need. Is a business banker, a relationship with your business banker, a legal team, marketing, business insurance, and accounting.
All the things.
But when they start their business, they focus on the website, the logos, the flyers, the business cards, which is fine.
I got my LLC. I'm in business. What we doing next?
But and then I've recently, like, I asked at our monthly event that we had last month, one of the questions was, what is it that your business needs now? And somebody said funding. And so my follow-up question was, do you have a business bank account? Their answer was no. You would be surprised that a lot of these businesses out here do not have a business bank account.
That's crazy.
They don't think, but think about it, because everything is online.
Yeah.
Cash App, Stripe, Chime, like, so they don't think they don't think beyond that.
Yeah.
And so we have to help them. Like, if you want funding, you go into a bank or a loan, they're going to ask for your profit and loss statement. They're going to ask for all these documentations that you don't have because you don't have a business bank account.
Oh yeah.
So this is really focusing on the foundation and the components of businesses, so they can be set up
successfully.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because they made it easy to go get that LLC, and so people think that's the end all. They got that Secretary of State document, but there's so much more.
They think that I'm learning that they feel like once they register their business, that it's protected.
So far
it is
from
not,
the truth.
People. It is
so
not.
Far from the truth.
Somebody in Ohio can use your name and run a business.
Yeah, for sure.
So trademarking is
so important.
Like,
so important.
I've seen too many businesses that have had to stop operations because somebody else came in and trademarked and took everything.
Happens more often than you think.
Yeah,
it really does.
I heard that happen to Chicken Scratch.
Ooh, I didn't think about that.
Now there's a location downtown, and it's not her location.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
it can happen.
Yep, and we just never know. And think of all that hard work you put in.
Yeah.
Because yes, it can be expensive,
but it's worth it.
The money you're going to lose,
right,
by not having it, far outweighs that expense.
And it's that peace of mind too.
It's an investment.
Yeah, it's the peace of mind knowing it's yours and nobody can take it away from you.
And that's why I partner with Legal Shield, because they offer, businesses are majority of them priced out of the market when it comes to lawyers. So being able to have those consultations, like I talked to my lawyer a couple of weeks ago, I'm adding a different component to my business, and I was going to put it under the nonprofit. And as my conversation with him, he was like, you're not going to like what I'm about to say, but why would you do that?
Gotcha.
And just throughout the conversation, I was like, if I would not have had this conversation, I would have set it up the wrong way.
Right.
And so having those conversations even ahead of time, so Legal Shield allows that. Pretty much it levels the playing field. Like, you can, for $49 a month, you can have an attorney.
Everything
you can
need.
You can call every week if you need to.
Right.
And not have to worry about, I have to save up $250 to speak to an attorney. And it's just, you've used attorneys, so the expense of it.
Oh yeah, on retainer all the time.
All the time.
All the time. You never know when you're going to need them.
Absolutely.
Until you need them.
That part. It's about being proactive versus reactive.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you always spend more money when you're reactive. Because it's a now. I got to get this now. And that attorney is going to capitalize on that.
Absolutely. As they should.
You want me now? Okay, that's a 100% markup.
As they should. Yep.
Yep. So where can they find you at?
Oh my gosh, all the things. So I am BrandyNicole.com for all things business in the books. LivingInTheMomentEvents.com for event planning in the event center. And then LOVE 4 traveling.com for the travel agency. And then the same thing on socials. Love for traveling, Living in the Moment events. I am Brandy Nicole.
Love it. And so what do you have coming up? Anything coming up?
Yes, coming up November 21st, we are having our nonprofit turkey giveaway. So our goal is to give away 100 turkeys to families in the community. So if you want to volunteer or donate or give back to that initiative, that is under livinginthemomentinitiative.org. So you can find that. That'll be here from 1 to 5 at 6935 Lake Plaza Drive, November the 21st. And then we have our annual Breakfast with Santa, December 21st.
Okay.
And that'll be right here at the venue as well.
Okay. And what are some things they can expect to see from you next year?
Oh my gosh, next year. Let's see. Next year, I will probably have another book out. I'll be on the lookout for that. It may be an ebook. And then what else next year? I always tell people just look out for our events. Subscribe to our websites. I'm always thinking of new things, new courses, new masterminds. So think of those things. And then, of course, the Indie Business Shower. You don't want to miss that. That's a huge annual event that takes place in October. So We shall see.
Yes,
We
yes.
shall see.
So one last question.
Yep.
What has entrepreneurship, what have you learned about yourself by being an entrepreneur
Oh,
that you
Lordy.
didn't know?
What have I learned about myself? I would probably say I have more patience than I ever thought because nothing in this lifestyle of entrepreneurship is easy. And you almost kind of have to wait. Sometimes you may have spoken with a client 6 months ago, and you may not really seal that deal until way down the line. So just staying the course, being patient, knowing that nothing happens overnight, nothing is easy. And if it were, everybody would be doing it. I truly, truly believe that. So I definitely think these last 7 years.
Only the strong survive. No.
That's true.
Or the patient survive.
True.
Only the patient
That
survive.
too.
That's what it should be.
Yeah, these last 7 years of full time entrepreneurship has definitely taught me patience. So just knowing that what's on this side is what I want and what I value. Knowing what was on the other side, I don't want to go back to. So with that being said, I have to stay the course, and I'm going to continue to be patient and continue to be successful and put one foot in front of the other every single day. That's
Thank
it.
you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yes, absolutely. So this has been Melissa Shaw with Our Generation, where we educate, empower, and inspire. And I hope that you have been educated, empowered, and inspired to really take your business to the next level. We're going into 2025. So anything that you need to fix or tweak, reach out. Reach out to Brandy, reach out to me. There's lots of resources, community centers, and here that can help you. Really, don't go into 2025 the way you leave 2024.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Even if it's one tweak. Yeah. It can be overwhelming. Yeah. But just do one thing. Get a business bank account. Please, for the love of God, get a business bank account.
First and foremost.
That is what I need my friends to do. So we are out.
Bye.